Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to do a video talking about ways that people can try to alleviate the pain here in the rat race. You know, everything's become so expensive. Everything's become just ridiculously overpriced. And so many people are suffering as a result of that. Even with their 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job, it's still not enough. It's just simply not enough these days. And unfortunately, the cost of living is continually going to go up for various reasons, some of which I talk in previous videos, but I won't get into that today. What I want to present is a few ways that you could try to alleviate the stress of, the cost of living by making some money, some passive income, some you'll have to do some work. I have a list here, and the one thing I will also say is I've done pretty much all of these except for maybe one or two of them, for obvious reasons, as we'll get into in this video. So one way that I was able to escape the rat race, the 9 to 5 I should say, because you still need money and you still need to pay for things. But when I left Canada, I started to teach English, and I actually started to do this in 2012. So it's been a long time. I only came to live in Brazil once before this time, which was in 2013. I started working at a local school. Sure, it didn't pay very much, but I got a lot of experience. And in fact, they don't really look for someone who has a degree. They just want somebody who's a native speaker. You might be able to do an actual class because they have all the materials there. It's not the easiest, but it's also not the most difficult job I've ever done. The other thing I will mention is after a while, I decided that I wanted to start, working autonomously on my own. So what I started to do was I researched from a friend of mine who also was doing the same thing, an American guy, and he had some books on how to do it, and he gave me pointers and things like that. And essentially you have to go through certain stages, like getting the students, which way are you going to teach them? I mean, through which medium? I was using Skype for many years, but it's going to be defunct. I think this May 2025, it's going to be completely gone. You could use Google Meets, you could use various different ones. I think, what was the other one? Zoom was another one. But I preferred Skype, so I have to see what I'm going to do now that Skype is going to be gone. But I've diminished how many classes I've been giving these days. It's just that that's the issue I have, is that students are very kind of flip-floppy, but it's not impossible to get very faithful, people who will stay with you and pay on time and things like that. I would say there's a lot of material out there, English material, for those who are wondering. Lots of material online. How I did it was I structured each student's class differently based on their skills. And again, there's different things you can assess their skills and their English level. Materials online. Tons of stuff. I had like gigabytes upon gigabytes of English material, just absolutely, and for free. Like, you can find a lot of free stuff. Again, the hardest part is probably recruiting the students, but you can do that through Facebook ads. You can do it through word of mouth, making business cards, giving them out if you decide to live in Brazil or any other country, maybe in a Spanish-speaking country, I don't know. But the possibility is quite high. And I'm not saying you're going to be rich from this, but you can, if you're living abroad, pay your bills and have some money left over and a lot of free time, because you're essentially making your own schedule. So you're not like working the 9 to 5 at all. Pretty much none of these ideas that I'm going to talk about in this video will make you rich. Some people get lucky in some of them, and others, they just make a decent amount of money in order to help pay and alleviate the stressors of bills, these days. So if anybody has questions about the English teaching, I'm more than happy to answer them in the comments below. I don't want to make it only about the English, but it is very possible. You can even, by the way, in fact, do it if you can't leave your home country. There's a lot of companies online that are looking for recruits to hire people. I was going to work for this Japanese company, but the scheduling was really bad because of the time difference. But there's a lot of them online. You just have to look them up. A lot of different options. The next one I want to talk about, next idea, is YouTube, starting a YouTube channel. Now, it's not the easiest thing to get monetized, but it is possible. I have another channel, a travel channel that I don't get paid that much because, quite frankly, I have to go on trips in order to record videos, right? So you have to find a niche for yourself. I mean, there's a lot of people who, I've seen very successful YouTubers who do reviews on different, whether it's electronics or any items really. And those seem to be the channels that do really well. Any channels that do really are informational and people are getting a lot of information out of the videos, those tend to do really well. And I mean, you don't even need the best camera to start your channel. Even if you have a simple cell phone, any sort of digital camera, basic computer that you can just upload the video. Editing, you'll need a bit of a better computer if you want to do high quality, HD video editing. But even then, you can find some on Amazon for like $250, maybe $500. I don't know. You have to really do the research on the tech that you want to use when you're starting a channel. Like I said, you just need the basics to start off. You have to be very consistent in the videos. The quality will improve as you go along when doing YouTube videos. You'll notice that it's a process. Like your first few videos aren't going to be that great. So you want to really take it easy on yourself. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. And again, consistency always wins. And you have to also do something that you'll enjoy doing, but also will bring in the viewership. Like I said, review videos, people who, there's travel channels if you can do traveling, but I'm saying if you want to just start from home, and of course review channels, you'll have to probably purchase some items. Maybe once you get big enough, companies will, lend you whatever product that they want you to review. Like I've seen this guy who's in the millions of subscribers and he's probably making really good bank. So anything is really possible when it comes to YouTube. Now I know there's a lot of videos online that tell people how to get monetized. I'll add it in here just for the video's sake. You have to reach 1,000 subscribers, and in addition to that, you have to get to 4,000 watch time hours. Some people have more difficulty with the watch time hours. Some people have more difficulty getting in the subscribers. So you want to try to, again, be consistent in the video posting and make it interesting. There's a lot of different niches you could go to. There's gardening, there's, like I said, travel, review videos. There's people who talk about the news. There's also channels that are just completely nonsensical and just basically people just want to scroll through and watch, stupid stuff. I've seen so many successful channels that just post, really nonsensical videos that I'm just like, what do people see in this? But I mean, it sells, so you gotta go, I guess, depending on who you are, do that kind of channel, but do also what you like to do. That's important. So YouTube, you're not gonna make a ton of money unless you get really big and you get the views. That's the only way to do it. But it is a good way to do passive income because once you've had the video, you've been monetized, it generates, there's other ways that you can make money on YouTube. People can do super chats, they donate money to you, you can do memberships. There's all different types of possibilities. Sky's the limit when it comes to YouTube, but it takes time to get the good growth. You got to get to the point of monetization. Two last things I'll mention about YouTube. It's free, so you can create a YouTube channel account for free via YouTube, Google. And you can have, I think, multiple channels as well. So you could always do multiple channels if you want to do various different types of topics. The other thing is, I would suggest, if you're interested in doing YouTube, don't keep thinking about it. The best step that you want to take is just to start. Just do a video and start, experimenting, and that's the only way that you're gonna start growing, is you have to start today, So let's move on to the next item or next idea that I have for you guys in order to try to make some money and help you relieve the stress of bills and everyday cost of living. eBay. Now, I've done eBay for many years, and I would say at least 15 years. I don't do it so much now because I'm not living in North America. And if you're in either Canada or the United States, it's really, really beneficial for you. And I mean, sure, there are fees and things like that that are, slapped on it. And it's gotten worse over the years. I think eBay was much better like 10 years ago or so when it comes to fees and the facilitating. Sure, there's been some good positive updates to it as well. But what I did was I would sell things that I didn't want anymore on eBay. Another thing I would do is go to thrift shop places or secondhand stores across the city when I lived in Toronto, and I would look at things that you have to really hunt for good quality items, because people are not going to buy things that they can't use. So you go to these stores, you're going to buy a really low price, and you can post it online for free. Until you sell it, you don't pay any fees. You can create a free account as well on eBay and just maybe sell it for a little bit more. I mean, you don't want to rip off people. That's just not good practice, business practice, in my opinion. So I wouldn't overprice the items, but I would have to make a profit, right? So there's that idea. eBay is pretty easy to use, and you can find a whole bunch of good stuff. Again, you have to have some money in order to go around and find these items, but you don't need that much to, find some decent things that people might want online. And if you have a lot of stuff that you've been holding on to, great way to make some money and get rid of it. Another thing is garage sales. Now, this you have to plan. You have to post up signs and things like that. You can only do it when there's good weather, of course. But again, another way you can sell things that you found at a thrift store, secondhand stores. You can sell your old stuff that may be valuable. Maybe someone else sees value in it. The problem with garage sales, in my opinion, is there's always going to be someone who wants to negotiate, barter, and try to get things for cheap, or for nothing. So you got to be pretty firm in the price and fair. Usually they could take all day, these yard sales, or you can do it on a weekend. Like, I know these things that I'm saying are kind of obvious things, but they've worked for me. I've made extra cash, especially when I was selling a lot of the things that belonged to my mother. One of the other things that I looked into a few years back was affiliate marketing. Now, I don't know how much of that you guys know, but it's kind of complex, and I noticed there's a lot of scams when it comes to that. And I'm not recommending doing it, but there are I've known some people who were successful in it. It takes a large learning curve, to be honest. I took time trying to learn how to do it, and then I realized you got to have quite a bit of money in order to get into it. So this is one I don't really recommend. I mean, look into it. Some people have been successful. Maybe those of you who are watching who have some money to invest in it. But be very careful, because again, there's a lot of people on there who try to sell courses and all kinds of crap like that, how to do affiliate marketing, and just take your money. So I didn't lose really that much money. I think I invested maybe $500 in it. This is about like 5 years ago. But I realized it's not really a a viable and easy way to make money in comparison to the things I talked about earlier in this video. So that's one that I probably wouldn't really recommend. What's the other one I was going to talk about? Oh yes, investing. This is another one you have to have money in order to put into the stock market. Now, I don't know about right now, but I think that it would be a good time to invest. I know a lot of people say that the market's crashed and things like that, but the market's been around for well over 100 years, and it's endured quite terrible things in the history of the 20th century, and it's bounced back. You just have to know which things to purchase in. Again, I wouldn't recommend this if you need money to come in handy now, like to make money now, given the fact that the market is down in the first quarter of 2025. So that's one thing. It's just another option I'm throwing out there to make passive income, like in the dividend stocks. I have some money in the market. The things that I didn't do to make extra money were like Uber Eats, Uber driver, because these are essentially almost like 9-to-5 jobs. They're not 9-to-5 jobs, but you do have to own a car, start an account, which I think is free, but it's also money being invested in that. And I don't know if it's practical. And it's not as easy as like if you were to start a YouTube channel, if you were to do eBay by selling things on eBay, garage sale, all those types of things, teaching English in the comfort of your own home. These are much more easier, and basically you don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. So, and there's one thing that I will say, and I totally am not recommending it for anybody, but a lot of people have made tons of money on OnlyFans. Okay, I know that it doesn't get a good reputation, but I mean, you could look into that. There are people making tons and tons of money on it. I'm just being honest. It is one way that if you're interested, that you can make money on it. Again, not recommending it. I'm just throwing it out there. Never done it myself, nor do I think I would. Yeah. So these are just some ideas I came up with to try to maybe have some money coming in, extra money, things to think about. If you guys have any questions about these ideas, leave them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.